yeah. So Necro instead is in that safe lane as mentioned. Illidan want to try to guarantee farm on him, and we'll continue to see how that progresses. But you got to figure Gyrocopter. He's going to be living life on the edge here, and see once again as Jerax rolls in, but just saying hello this time. Nice little tap right there before walking backwards. So not much more to it, but Phantom Lancer, he's going to take his farm at the top lane. Of course, he is going up against what's this dual lane of Bane as well as Clockwork. I mean, there's a lot of potential for some kill up here, especially if they catch the Lich out of position.
Oh yeah, for sure. Fly needs to be very careful.
Oh, Jerax almost going down right there in return, actually. Thompson's getting low. The Spirit Siphon was actually on a creep from Death Prophet, so healing him up, but not necessarily doing more damage to Thompson, and they dive big time right there. Luckily, it didn't backfire, honestly. Got really close.
These dives are having this unintended consequence where they're pushing the lane in so far that Thompson's able to farm safely. He's going to drop Rezo here. Oh, he lost vision.
He's running after him with the Rocket Barrage. Not much on the top lane. There's also continued harassment now. They're going to be fine, but have action both in the middle and again back to the middle. Jerax just see him barreling, and oh no, Jerax is going to get first blooded. He missed the initial barrel roll hit, and that's what cost him his life in the end. Very far use from Thompson. Will stay alive. First blood drawn by SFT Esports. And you got to think though that's more on OG's side, throwing themselves at him.
Yeah, this is just a huge lack of respect from OG for just diving him under the tower like that. Gyro's a very dangerous hero to dive. Like, Rocket Barrage still does a lot of damage.
Top lane, Jerax, he's trying to rotate up here now to take advantage of the Radiant side being pushed up so far. Nikwa is a little below half life. Bane's going to rotate over, though, and spot Jerax nearby. Bane, he is level 2, so he has a Nightmare as well as that Brain Sap here. And Brain Sap, again, don't underestimate that ability in itself. It's quite the turnaround, not only 90 damage, but, of course, 90 heal on top of that, and being the pure damage to top it all off. So, actually a pretty hefty nuke this early on in the game.
This is going to shore up the big weakness of Bane fairly well. They're managing to get him, not solo experience, but dual lane experience is so much better than tri-lane. And with him being able to get pulls off like this especially, it's just insane.
Yeah.
He should be doing very well here. It's going to get him a real quick 6. It's going to keep the Brain Sap leveling up nicely. They just really want to kill Thompson here.
Well, that was actually almost a bottle courier snipe. He actually got one hit on it before it got delivered to Thompson. So Jerax just unfortunately missed timing. Was so close to getting it taken out. Coming up short there, though. So he gets the bottle and going to start regenerating up. You see the homing missile harassment. He actually scans out Earth Spirit also at the ancient area. So you look at positioning by Thompson. He's, you mentioned the idea of Gyrocopter middle lane. Maybe it was an odd choice. Well, he's clearly comfortable with the hero. He wouldn't do this if that wasn't the case. You figure, especially against a team like OG, and he's playing it pretty well so far.
Yeah, it has a ton of single target potential damage with homing missile into a rocket barrage. You just missile someone until they're out of position, and then you just run at them with the Q. It's just a lot more risky because then you don't have any points on flak to farm up ancient creeps or anything like that.
Yeah,
and can definitely become a struggle in the mid game to find your items, but. If Jerax wants to keep diving him, keep putting pressure on, that's kind of perfect for the way SFT's playing this after getting that first kill.
Yeah, we do have to look at the CS here. I mean, Gyrocopter 10-4 compared to Death Prophet 25-12. So, obviously, Resolution having the much better time when it comes to CS here. But Thompson, as long as he can stay alive and well, he even has the first blood as a result of what happened earlier, that's really what matters. Because you figure Necrophos is having a great time at the bottom lane, and sure enough, he is. 22-9 down here. He got S4 though, 12-4 himself, so he's not doing too bad. He is level 4. Top lane, Jerax. Once again, trying to flank position in. Set something up here. Nikwa, there's a Spirit Lance on him. Jerax, they're not going to go though. He's keeping his distance. Lich does have level 2 Frost Blast here, but not worth it, they say.
Yeah, it's hard without Spirit Lance being up on no-tail. He's struggled to keep his mana going this time, and it looks like he's actually going to run himself a Soul Ring, which I really like.
Yeah, back to the middle lane. Death Prophet continuing to keep that hefty lead here, but no, let's go back to the top here as they are finally going to engage Pexu. Orb of Venom auto attacks, and yep, Jerax will eventually do enough damage to secure that kill. Nico's going to be fine, but it seemed like it was bound to happen. Just a matter of time.
I want to see this Bane rotate into middle soon. He's got level 2 Brain Sap and 1 creep, and if he can get to the mid lane, supplement the call down damage with a level 2 Brain Sap, they might be able to bring down Rezo.
Ooh, Jerax sitting here with the Invis. But he just picked up Thompson, was going up to the bottle up the room, but obviously Jarek's had taken it. This time, this should work out pretty well. Exorcism used for this. And this is going to transition pretty nicely into some tower pressure, at least. The call down not doing nearly enough in return. And so we'll see.
Opening is so aggressive from Rezo. It's just boots, double null talisman, just flew in a magic wand, raindrop. So many items prior to the bottle, and that's all just to get this done. It's to really just push the damage on that first exorcism.
Yeah, I mean, just look at that tower melting away. You do have Bane coming in. It's not going to be enough. Now, he needs to be careful not to put it in deny range. And he does back off just in time. Wow. Oh, no, it does get hit. Yeah, never mind. Catapult hits it, so.
Honestly, mid tower is one you're actually fine getting denied, just because it's gone now. Like that positioning is so huge. Now it opens the lane up, makes it even longer for Jarex to come gank.
See if they can take advantage of this opening now. Jarex, meanwhile, he's going back to the courier here. Looks like that's a hefty courier, quite a bit on it. Has his boots here. Actually gets a smoke as well with that raindrop resolution. Homing missile going on to him. Not going to be the biggest deal, though. They smoke up towards the middle now. It's Jarex as well as Fly. Rocket flies in, but obviously doesn't spot them initially. Thompson now goes in with a Boulder Smash initiation. Throws down the call down, so screw it. We might as well fight this. Soul Siphon on hopping him as well, and Gyrocopter will eventually go down. Pexu put the Nightmare on a Death Prophet, but not nearly enough, and the sucky continues. Not only damage, but healing on up. Spirit Siphoning, excuse me.
I feel like Rezo's going to be playing very, very aggressive on this lineup. As we talked about in our podcast, he's coming out with a lot to prove right now. He had a very, very nice run with Empire at TI, was probably the most contested player I had to imagine in setting up contracts and deciding what team he was going to go on. But this is his time. He's got to measure up. This is when he has to show that he's worth the hype.
Starts here. Starts today. Again, it was supposed to start yesterday, but they ended up getting a forfeit win over, I think it was a team of 4P5, 4 Protect 5, that apparently is having some roster issues. So here they are today, though, getting to play. And by the tweets and everything, they definitely sounded hype. And as you're saying, you kind of feel it here, especially from Resolution. He's definitely making a statement early on. And the power tread's just about finished on him now, so he has plenty of build-up to work with. Bottom lane, S4. That Impale misses. He turns around, actually. Throws out the Decrepify. Does a little bit of a life drain, but stopped pretty quickly right here. Jarex comes in. The Reaper Scythe, obviously not enough damage for the kill, and also nice Boulder Smash to help make sure S4 stays alive. As he was on the run right there. That got a little bit awkward, but it's going to work out in the end. In fact, OG, here comes Resolution with an exorcism. Just sits on top of Necro. Necro just accepts death. Look at that. He just melt right here with this exorcism, man. Double kill for Resolution. Not often you see a roaming prophet set up kills with exorcism like this.
Yeah, this is the power of maxing Spirit Siphon right away. The slow is just so much, the damage is disgusting. And when you put double null into Magic Wand, you do a ton of right-click damage. Almost at 100 right-click right now.
Let's take a look at the net worth here. No surprise. Resolution on top of the charts, 4,000. Net worth on him, putting more pressure on this bottom tower. Exorcism is going to wear off right there. But gets it about half life or so. But then you have No Till on Phantom Lancer. He's at 3,200 or so. In fact, doing a nice hefty stack here. S4 also getting involved.
No Till's net worth's going to be slightly deceptive. He went a ton of items just to keep him alive and keep him pressuring a little bit. And the Soaring, Aquila, even the full Poor Man's and Orb of Venom. So while he has a lot of net worth, it's not really in long-term plan items. But that's their game plan right now. I mean, they just want to push objectives. That's going to get No Till time to farm.
A lot of these early items, especially on their cores, and again goes back to the idea of getting objectives done sooner than later, and also encouraging some fighting. And you see that there in the middle lane, the Chain Frost even coming out for that kill. But a good one at that. The opposing core is definitely being held down quite a bit. Gyrocopter only at 3,000 net worth. Necrophos only at 3,100 himself currently. What is Gyrocopter going for, by the way? Just the Ring of Aquila currently, so he too has plenty of build-up, but
then it's going to be something like Drums into SNY. I don't think he's going to have time to go anything really late game. This fight is going to come to them a lot sooner than they were planning on the side of SFT. And really the swing is going to be whether or not Necro can hit scythes. If he finds a couple scythes on either the Pugna or the Death Prophet in the early game, slowing that push down a little bit, they're going to be in a lot more comfortable position. But if he doesn't, they're going to lose all their buildings exceptionally quickly.
Yeah. Is an Ag something that he could think about this game, or is that just not worth it?
I think that item's a meme item. I mean, it's seen a little bit of play, but there's just usually better ways to use that gold.
Yeah.
They've given it minor buffs. They've seen that even when it started to see some play, it wasn't great.
It's another roam kill. OG's really turning it on now. The offensive urn coming on to Pexu. Boulder Smash connects on through, and Bane with that Decrepify. The Brain Sap's not going to be nearly enough to keep him alive. So 11.5 minutes in. We have an 8-1 lead right now for OG, and they've just really turned it on. I mean, Nyx Assassins, he's still only level 4.5 here.
And Bane's 4 as well, like just closing in on 5, but the other supports are 7 and 8 respectively. This is the big issue with Bane. They couldn't get the levels. It looked like they were going to at the start, and then that lane broke. Bane had to start moving because their mid lane just got thrashed once Jerax started sitting on it.
Clockwork is level 6, so maybe that's going to be some idea of momentum here. Get that hook shot initiation and try to secure a kill, but you know, it's who do you really go on? Who can you find here? Lich and maybe Pugna could be those options, but
if they stack it perfectly, they could bring down anyone, though. A hook shot into a grip, into an ult from Necro could even bring down the PL right now. But that can't even be the target you're going on, because that's not going to slow this push. That's the hard part for them. That's the most value kill, and yet it doesn't even matter if they get that one right now.
Yeah.
Exorcism's already back up. I mean, we're going to look to see either Rezo's going to port top and try to use it, or even pressure this tier 2 bottom.
Yeah, and he doesn't even have his silence yet. He's going to start leveling that up here at level 11, I'm sure. But silence in itself, it's such a strong ability that almost gets overlooked, I feel like, with this hero. As Nyx Assassin is going to go down here in the middle lane, and that's just an illusion. So we'll have
they got it, though.
Now. They did get
definitely
it.
Dead.
Got the bounty.
Yeah, no, the silence is very, very good. It's just, with this kind of Death Prophet play, if you're ahead, that's the last thing you want. You just want to push damage.
Oh, yeah. No, it's not surprising he didn't get it, but that's just, you know, the point of now he's going to have that on top of everything else here. And even at level 1, it's still a 3-second silence with a pretty large radius to work with here. It's 425 radius. I mean, in these team fights, obviously we talk about the idea of Bane again. If it can channel, you know, good luck this game as it usually stands. It's now, to be fair, I mean, I am looking at this lineup. It's not the most stun-heavy team on OG's
No, it's
side.
definitely not.
Yeah,
it's definitely a tempo-based lineup, but they have tempo firmly in control right now.
Well, they're going to make their way to the top lane. Mention Exorcism. Where did they go? Who did Defiance even picked up by Death Prophet? There's that silence level up as he hits level 11. So Clockwork's up here, but obviously he's not going to be able to stop this by himself. Bane is rotating in. Again, not level 6 yet, though, either.
Yeah. This Pugna actually is getting very close to a 4-staff, and that's a huge key item, because all of a sudden then Clockwork Hookshot becomes way less deadly. You can just force someone as soon as they get hooked, move them out of range of Nyx Impale or Reaper Scythe.
Yeah.
And then the initiation's way less value. Like, SFT Esports has struggled to find any sort of a fight yet. And if this 4-staff comes before they find one, it's just looking real bleak.
Ooh, Nyx Assassin going in with that Vendetta, but guess what? He's seen this whole time. The silence comes out, and it was a death trap all along for Nyx Assassin right there. And, you know, OG just simply overreacted as a team. There's a hook shot in, actually, coming out. They lock up Resolution, but is that really a target you want to be going for? Brain Zap on top of him. We didn't see Chain Frost bouncing around top, and it runs down Pugna, but they do get the turn kill on a Clockwork. Resolution is dropping, but that Spirit Cypher going to suck him up some life now, and actually going to be able to stand toe-to-toe with Thompson and secure that kill. You see the homing missile running him down. He's going to get near the tower, but oh, it is enough, actually. Nice brain sap there from Pexu to secure that kill. In fact, they're also probably going to get Jerax right here. Trying to run him down. Reaper Scythe obviously on cooldown. Used it during that fight. And they do get the kill on Earth Spirit as well. So, I mean, they lose Thompson there on Gyrocopter. They lost Clockwork, I believe, but overall going pretty well. But now No-Tail's here all of a sudden, and he comes to clean up on the Bane. And you got to figure he's looking to now run them down at the tower. So SFT Esports may be overstaying their welcome.
Yeah, all in all, though, that's the team fight they needed. They managed to get a winning team fight in this state of the game. That's very nice for them, especially losing their Nyx right away. It ended up being a 3-for-3, I guess, but you can't really call the Nyx part of that team fight when he just died right away. They are going to find Fly, though. There's no way you don't kill him here.
Yeah. Try to TP out, unfortunately.
That's a big kill for Thompson. A dominating streak right now on Fly gives him a little over 400 gold.
Oh, jeez, yeah. How did Lich have a dominating streak? But middle lane, Pexu. He's got Fiend's Grip. Might use it right here in Death Prophet. Yep. Gonna try. Nope. Yep. There we go. Good range. Oh, it is stopped though. Good job by Jerax with a boulder smash as well. What a play by Jerax right there. He stops the channel. He stuns more heroes on top of that. It's still not enough, but a valiant effort from JX and Earthspear. But in the end, great rotation from SFT Esports, and they do set up for the kill.
Yeah, this has to show OG they need to just chill till these 4 steps. Once those come online, these fights get a lot easier. But without them, they're starting to see the pain. Their lineup's very squishy and able to be punished.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Phantom
JX should
Lancer.
fall.
He's got the Diffusal Blade just about finished, and of course that's big item. Jarek's getting picked up. Oh yeah, over here in the middle lane.
Yeah, it was just a sleep into Rocket. It was very straightforward.
And Vendetta's back up again for Nyx Assassin. So momentum has shifted here a little bit. I mean, I know net worth is still in favor of OG, but what is that, like 5 kills, it feels like, in a row even for this Radiant side, and they're going to push this middle tower on top of that. It's going to be a middle tower kill for them. Does Phantom Lancer need to be more involved in these fights, or are you fine with him doing this kind of split push?
He really can't. Like, pre-1 item Phantom Lancer is fine in lane when Spirit Lance is chunking people out, but after that, it's so lackluster. He has to get to this defusal before he participates. I wouldn't even be surprised if he goes for a treads or something right after just to be able to fight a little better. But the Gyro level 10 Talon is deceptively strong. He went and grabbed 225 health, and he got that about the same time he got his drums. And he was just so tanky in that last fight. They tried to put a little pressure on him and bring him down, and all of a sudden, instead of having 1,000 health, he had 1,500. And it was just way too much to bring down.
Yeah. Yeah, 1,500 life this early on in the game. He has a BKB now queued up, so we just got finished talking about as well how this is a team with limited crowd control, actually. Necrophos, by the way, that Diffusal Blade doing so much work. Doppelganger's in, no chance for Illidan to live through there, and now Nyx Assassin, he's also going to get picked off. Went a little bit too close to danger, trying to save his teammate. So a couple of kills for OG, and probably a nice transition into a bottom tower push. As Death Prophet Exorcism, never mind.
Creeps are in a weird spot.
Okay.
They don't even have a wave yet.
Oh, you're right, yeah. Those are just illusions there, so not worth it. Again, Exorcism is up here for resolution, but gonna go
Clock's
elsewhere.
made his way to a Blade Mill already. That's a pretty decent timing for the way the lanes went for them. Has a bunch of starter items and a Blade Mill, working towards a Force Staff. That's going to be really huge if he gets gone on. Just providing a bunch of extra damage. At this point, their fights are on a hairline. If they have enough health to survive through them, it goes so heavily in their favor. They've got Brain Sap to turn fights, the Reaper Scythe giving Necro a bunch of regen, even just Gyro being as tanky as he is. These are very, very key things to them, and if they can get across that tankiness threshold, we could see a couple really big fights go SFT's way in a row.
What about the idea of Death Prophet? Okay, never mind. Go figure. Right as I'm going to bring it up, he does switch it up. He had the Rod of Atos queued up, but now he does have the Yules.
Yeah,
Here,
I think your Pugna is the one that if anyone goes in Atos, it should be Pugna. It's just great stats for him, as he already has a really bad HP pool.
Oh my gosh. They found Phantom Lancer hanging out. That's a nightmare on Pugna as well. He does have his Nether Ward down. Resolution, he is going to commit the X to the 4. This is a Chain Frost. It bounces over to Nyx, but only the one bounce. They kill Lich in the backlines. Tops in. Now he's chaining on that Death Prophet. The Exorcism doing work, but it's not going to be enough. Resolution's going to go down. Meanwhile, you also saw Lich, or that was actually a Pugna going down too. So now Jerax, he's a sole survivor. That's a 4 for 2 in favor of SFT Esports. And dare I say, SFT Esports is in a lead now.
Yeah, by net worth, they definitely Yeah, that's the thing. If they think they're okay in the fight, they don't need to deny this yet.
Well, the illusion's not going to do enough damage to actually kill the tower. And if you're OG, well, what's going on over here, actually? That's a Magnetize going up. Pexu, he's dropping. He's going to end up falling as a sacrificial lamb of sorts. Meanwhile, Nyx Assassin's being run down. Bane is still alive. You're right, man. A burn on a Phantom Lancer. No tailwind a little bit too deep. He goes down. Bane is actually still alive. Are you kidding me? He got out. Wow.
Homing missile was a lot of damage.
Radiant's
Well,
top
they do kill the tower in the end, but Clockwork, he should be fine. We're not even done just yet. Thompson now going back in. Doesn't have homing missile just yet. He does have wand charges. They get the mana for it. Fly, nearly die. There's homing missile on S4.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Nice force staff initially, but it is going to reach up to him. Thompson's just diving, man. He wants this kill, but at what cost for him? The Sucky comes out with the Spirit Siphon and the auto attack. Not enough damage now. Resolution, the call down coming out. Necrophil sitting on top, then takes out Pugna, and now Resolution's in trouble. That was a Fiend's Grip to get that kill as well. The Blade Mail up on Nikwa. Resolution's going to go down, and SFT Esports, what a fight. That lasted almost 2 minutes, it feels like. But they do come out on top in the end.
This went exactly what I was talking about. They got just tanky enough. Bane lived with under 20 health. Gyro just barely clinging to life there. Necro clung to life at one point. They were all so close to dying, but they were just over the threshold enough that they're able to win the fight commandingly. Now, Networth did not swing as much as they'd hoped. They managed to get the top tower on the side of OG with the end of the Exorcism, and Creeps managed to push out the bottom tier 2. So at least maintaining some decent gold there for OG, but yeah, these team fights are starting to look pretty bleak.
And I was going to say, are they going to commit the Reaper Scythe for this kill? They absolutely do. Very worth it. As they stop the TP on Jarex, it doesn't get the kill, but again, they stop him from TPing, and they are able to get him killed as a result of it. So, yeah, it's OG. Their lineup, I mean, they still have Phantom Lancer. So it's almost like they are now in this game, although before it wasn't the case. Now they're in this safety net game of, okay, we're going to need No Tail on Phantom Lancer to just start taking over. Later on, but that's still a ways off.
He's looking to do that, getting boots to travel right now. The worry he's going to have, though, is if he doesn't follow this up real quick with another item, he's so vulnerable to dying. Like, PL normally very, very mobile and hard to kill, but with only 1,200 health and a Fiend's Grip online, it's not going to be that hard of a task to find him.
Something else, one of these kind of abilities that's just hard to appreciate as a spectator, going back to Bane, is that Enfeeble. We're looking at its 90 reduction damage, just 120 at level 4 off of that base damage. So you throw that especially on the Phantom Lancer, and that's something that you got to keep in mind when it comes to his individual damage at least. Now, to be fair, obviously the Illusion's still doing plenty, so maybe against PL's not the strongest, but it's still enough to have some impact.
Yeah, the majority of PL's damage right now is in Diffusal Burn. Like, that's so much of the damage, but it is true, and it's one of those rare things that can't be doppelgangered off. Like, Enfeeble is entirely undispellable. It's really obnoxious because of it.
Yeah. STST almost has his 4-staff finish. That's a very popular item in this game. The Sentry War, they spot in the Rod of Atos net. Throws up the Spine Carapace. Doesn't really affect anything, though. He does get pushed forward by another 4-staff. And he'll be fine. He didn't even come out of Vendetta there. He ends up staying alive. So, good support. Yeah, the value of 4-staff this game is absolutely insane. We're going to see a third one coming out for SFT Esports, and yeah, multiple on OG side as well.
And this is one of those games that's real interesting. I'm almost wanting Lich to double back from Midas at this point, because him getting to level 25 so he can Frost Armor Towers might be what buys them enough time. Like, the problem here is No-Tail keeps dying in these fights. He's died first in the last 2 big team fights they've had, which is getting him no gold, no XP. It's just putting him really far behind on tempo. We see he's actually 4th in net worth in the game right now. And definitely not where he wants to be with how little involvement he's had in this game.
I know Radiance has become a little bit more of a core on Necrophos, it feels like, as of late, but it is going to be high value this game, too. He is going for it, has a Sacred Relic just about finished, but against a Phantom Lancer, it's a very good item to have, so
That's definitely a good item. My worry there, though, is it goes against the rest of the game plan they've had, where it's just been tank up, tank up. We know we have the sustained damage. We'll get through them if we just are tanky enough. And it's going to be kind of their transition to doing more offensive damage. We saw the same thing with Gyro if you look at his talents. I swore he was going to take 15% magic resist, but opted for the 30 damage instead, so they're feeling confident enough to start going on the offensive instead of just turning these all the time.
And can you blame them with the way this game has been going? To be fair, Necrophos, by the way, he is going to be gone on here. He did finish his Radiance. He's been delivered right here. But he might be in trouble. Science up, but by in trouble, I mean it's Necrophos. So never mind. The Nightmare actually coming out trying to save him, but it's taken off very quickly. And he will fall. Call down coming out, though, now, and No Tail is the one that has to survive right here. Tops it with that new BKB of his. Nice doppelganger over the ledge for No Tail to survive. The Spirit Siphon finishing off Bane right there. Resolution pursuing with the Nexus, and the boulder smash ended up hitting right there. Just at the tail end. He turns around with the flat cannon, though. And it's enough to scare off the dire side or keep them away. I guess the Clockwork Cog's also doing the work as STSD runs in. Nice route, though, from the Rod of Atos. Good job with that spiked carapace, though. STSD might die himself, but probably just saved his carry right there.
What?
In the gyro.
All right. I've been trying to... Oh, still going here, actually.
It is still going. This is one of those games that action just kind of keeps continuing, and I think that will be it now.
I've been trying to not, like, deliberately call out a very blatant misplay that's happened, but this has been one too many times. Stop decrepping people when they've got Exorcism beating on their face. It makes them take no damage. He's like, saved 3 people this game because he's decrepped them.
It's that physical damage, man. Doesn't go through it. You're right. There's Spirit. He gets picked off, by the way. Reaper Scythe, we thought this fight was over. SFT Sports says no. You're right. Homing Missile's going to connect. Tops in, call down comes out. There's a rocket barrage on top of that. The sucky to heal him up. The life drain, that is. Another homing missile, but good job by us for supporting a little bit, and that 4-staff keeping them alive as well. The Rod of Atos coming out too, so Death Prophet ended up going that item, by the way, but wanted to talk about that. But this fight just keeps continuing, and now Thompson may be overcommitted, but double damage on STSD. He gets the impel off in Resolution. It's probably going to fall right here. Yep. No Decrepify ready to try to save the day from S4 right there, and Phantom Lancer gets there a little bit too late. Well, these
fights, they're leaning SFT's favor, but the net worth is still looking fairly even. And honestly, OG would be okay with all of this if No Tail was getting any of it. But he's just not. These kills are going to other people. Rezo picking up 2 there. At the very least, No Tail did manage to get the actual kill on Necro, so that got him to his Yasha, but there's a long road ahead for Mr. Johan here. Needs to get to the Manta, and then potentially, I would say Heart is what he's going to have to be looking at going.
Yeah, just get that beefy.
It may even have to be BKB, though, because of Reapers. Like, he may just have to grab that, or he's going to take that Radiance damage so long, he's going to take all this Gyro damage, and then just get Reapered and die. Yep. What about a Lincoln's?
On Phantom Lancer?
Yeah, you've got Mana Burn, Homing Missile, Reapers, and Bane.
Bane can take it off pretty easy with Enfeeble. They really need him to.
Yeah.
Or Nightmare. For like any of Bane's ability are honestly good removal outside of Fiend's Grip.
Yeah, the hope behind Lincoln's is if you see the Lincoln's pop, that's enough reaction time for you to get out. Because none of the other spells are really instant unless they're going to like Enfeeble into Reapers right away. Oh man, they want No Tail so bad here.
Death Prophet. That's that Exorcism doing Roshan, but you're right, No Tail's pushing out the bottom lane. So a little bit of a distraction of sorts, and now No Tail's going to be porting a homing missile. Oh, doesn't stun him in time, so he does TP away.
With no medallion, this Roche is not going quickly. It's actually scouted out now, and this is going to be a disaster for OG.
Well, they're trying it. Illidan just charges in, though, with that Radiance Burn and the Ghost Shroud up. Thompson pops the BKB. Fly's going to be picked off, no doubt. Roshan goes down. Who's going to get the Aegis? It's still on the ground. Actually, finally picked up by Thompson right there. The Reaper Scythe cuts down Death Prophet. He's dead for 85 seconds. And you are right. OG really puts himself in a bad spot now. After losing that Roshan and giving up the Aegis because of the steal. Well played by SFT Esports, though.
Yeah, that Nyx Impale, huge. It let Gyro get the last hit on Roche as well as getting the Aegis itself. That's just an insane turn. Gyro didn't actually opt for that Ags as well.
Yeah, he hasn't finished. So the second gunner now online. Even more damage, more rapid damage happening amongst these fights, and that's going to be a tier 2 tower push. And it's a hindsight thing to say, sure, but you really got to wonder, OG, did they really need to do that Roshan? As you stated, it wasn't even the fastest Roshan because of the amp damage. I mean, Exorcism is great for it, but I felt like it was taking a lot longer than they even expected.
Honestly, this tier 3 will probably fall. There's no Exorcism. There's no real way for them to hold this. The Frost Armor just now coming out of the tower. This is way too slow from OG. This PL is not ramping fast enough.
Should be a Rax kill. I mean, Port coming in for Phantom Lance, so they want to fight this. They do not have Death Prophet, remember, so risky move perhaps from OG. Call down comes down. BKB, it's going to be wearing off here soon from tops, and it's down to a 6-second BKB now. Homing Missile, Wolf Stun, a Pugn on the backline. Nightmare on an Earth Spirit. Just trying to keep them away now as they try to retreat. No-Tail. Doppelgangers forward, trying to get some kind of catch. Not going to be happening, though. SFT Esports able to fall back in full after they get tier 3, as well as the middle racks here. So 32.5 minutes. We have our biggest lead so far of the game. And it belongs to SFT. 8,000 net worth lead right now. A little over 10,000 experience.
I mean, I have to give them a ton of respect for the way they've handled this game. OG's pressure was relentless in the early game. And SFT found the little cracks in the armor and one or two good team fights, and they just really clung to this lead. They had a couple little bad pickoffs, but other than that, they've played exceptionally for the last 15 minutes and just curbing this OG aggression.
It's been a game there's just been so much action, but now that we're calm here a little bit, I do want to go back to this. Death Prophet did end up getting the Rod of Aegis. Obviously, we've seen that come into play several times now. But what do you think of that choice over the Yules? Obviously, Yules more the defensive purpose.
Yeah, all in all, I think Yules probably would have paid out a little better dividends. I actually would have liked to see Glimmer, just as an extra way to mitigate a lot of this damage, because she's just dying. Like, yeah, she's tanky, she's in the middle of the fights. I mean, her item choice is rough. It's not a reason they're losing, though. They're just out of damage. We saw a 9 bounce Chain Frost that last fight, and they still couldn't win it.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to be No-Tail at this point. Like, that's where he's supposed to come in and be doing a ton of damage, but right now he's so far behind his item curve, Flak Cannon alone is pushing him out of these team fights.
Necrophos, a Lotus Orb now picked up, so even more protection for the team. A nice purge to happen. And that's easy. A couple of tower pushes. They're going to go for the bottom push. I mean, Aegis is still on Gyrocopter. They're not feeling scared right now. Like they can keep
don't really need to be.
Lotus Orb applied.
They actually see Rezo. Yeah, they're going for the push out here. Just stalling him out so he can't come back in the base.
Oh, how about that? Nick was zoning him out. SCST's even coming over to keep his zone down. This is big. Yeah, Resolution can't get into the base right now. He can't help defend currently. You see a port in from Phantom Lancer. That's going to be a tier 3 tower dead. Doppelganger in. Glimmer Cape on a Gyrocopter. No-Tail's melting, though. The Impel doesn't hit, but the Reaper Sight does. And he's dead for 100. He buys back immediately, though. He pretty much had to. S4 is going to be locked down by the Fiend's Grip despite that BKB of his. He goes down. He put down his Nether Ward. They kill it off pretty quickly, though. Here comes No-Tail back in. Remember, he bought back for this. He has to play it very, very careful. He dies. That's the game for sure. Resolution going in. The Spirit Siphon on a Pexu. No-Tail in a bad spot. The Cogs blocking him in. No-Tail's going to go for the dieback right there. Double kill for Topsin. And SFT Esports on the verge of taking game 1 here against OG in this best of 3 triple kill. It's going to be called.
Yeah, that should be about it.
That's an ultra kill. And Resolution, I mean, he's the last man standing. He takes out Nyx, but he's not living through this. GG is called indeed. And game number 1, we said not to underestimate this team, ladies and gentlemen. And you can say what you want as he gets the rampage there at the end. I love it. You can say what you want about OG, maybe misplaying or whatever, but I lean more towards SFT playing that very well.
I'm going to say, for the most part, I'm giving all the merits there to SFT. I will say S4's Pugna there was borderline game losing in a few of those decrepifies. He saved key targets that then turned around and did something productive by decrepifying people who were just getting beat on by Exorcism or No-Tail was trying to finish off. And it put them in really an awkward spot. And maybe that just comes down to draft and a little bit of anti-synergy there. But great game 1 by SFT, and OG's going to need to draft a little bit better backup plan, I think. Like, they had the early game on lock. They had a ton of pressure. And after their mistakes, No-Tail couldn't single-handedly do it for them. So we'll see if we have a big drafting shakeup in game 2.
Something tells me we are here as, OG. And talk about the momentum for SFT. That's got to feel so good. Again, like I said, people were counting them out yesterday as far as, them getting, I don't want to say stomped by Secret, but it was a pretty decisive victory for Team Secret in that series. But this is a team that's been grinding for a little bit now, and then a lot of these open qualifiers, playing some other regionals. They're really coming together and looking very strong here as they move forward. So they got to be feeling on cloud 9 right now as they are up 1-0 against OG, who's making their debut with Resolution, of course, here in the tournament scene. So we'll see how they switch things up. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a short break. We got game number 2 coming up. SFT Esports versus OG. We'll be right back, guys.